August planning board meeting to order. Um, First up on the schedule, we have, is, Cisco, minor subdivision public hearing. And representing the applicant is Wesley Chase here to give us an overview, and then we'll open it up for comments.
Perhaps. If anybody from the public would like to come up and pick her up, feel free as well. Trish does have it up on the screen as well. So it is the Cisco's property. It fronts on both North Main Street, also known as County Route 83A and Kaufman Road. So a county route and also a town road. And the end of the county route is at Ryan Road. It's one tax map parcel on both the east and west side of the road currently. It has two residences on it. This particular subdivision is aimed to subdivide off what is on the west side and the east side into a 5-acre lot and a 1.75 acre lot, which the house that the Cisco's live in. The 1.79 has a residence, an existing drive, a septic, drilled well. The septic was approved by the Dutchess County Health Department back in 1992. The Cisco's house that they live in has a septic, driveway, well. That septic was well before any Dutchess County regulations existed. We have created a lot that's over 5 acres with the vacant land. And because of that, the Dutchess County Health Department doesn't require at this point a health department approval. Only, where somebody puts one house could greatly differ from where somebody might put the other house. We have contacted the Dutchess County Highway Department and had the engineer Bill Trifolo out. We inspected the site distances, which have met all the site distances. I've just been working with him. There's a couple details that he wanted on the map, as well as some verbiage in note number 2, which classifies how the entrance needs to be built and to what standards, and any updated standards from today they'll have to achieve as well.
It's in the 5-acre. That's this one here.
Correct. The 1.79 acre lot, which is the lot number 1 on the west side, is in the rural district, while everything on the east side is the Hamlet Main Street. Hamlet Main Street, the bulk regulations say we need an area of 20,000 square feet, which is a little less than half an acre. We have 1.75 and we have 5, so we conform. On the west, we're in the rural. The rural requires 5-acre minimum acreage. We got referred to the zoning board of appeals, went before the zoning board of appeals. They granted us that, and note number 1 kind of specifies that, and when the resolution of where we got the waiver. I will say that upon further review, the lot 1 was 1.73, and that included some of temporary easement that was constructed when DOT redid the bridge that crosses the Chicomico Creek. So I had some of that temporary easement not included in the property, but I realized that, added it back in. So it was 1.73, it's now 1.79. It's not much of a difference, but I just would, if you see that it's different on the 2 maps, that's the reason. With that, the notes, we talked about the zoning board of appeals, we talked about the highway department. We have a couple of references to an existing file map, a reference to the DOT taking map for the bridge. As well as there is a 15-foot wide easement that goes along old farm road that gets to Frank Bradley's property in the back. We talked about that last month, but added a note there that classifies where the library page that recites that easement, and again, shown on the map as well. With that, I'm happy to take any questions from the board, the public.
Is there anyone here from the public looking to speak on this application? And none, the board, do you have any questions? I have a question. So exactly, what is the status of the driveway permit?
So that's what we're waiting on. I'm
You're just
waiting on
the
a
front.
conceptual approval letter from Bill Trifolo from the highway department that just says one can be built. And we're good with the verbiage of the map.
Warren, do you have any issues? Or-
I'm gonna like fair to resolution.
George, nothing from you.
Basically, it's straightforward.
Is there any, last chance, any member of the public wants to talk? Guys, can I have a motion to close the public hearing? Motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the public hearing is now closed. This is. I don't want to review. This is. Okay. Mhm. All right, so I'll read the resolution. We'll vote on it, sound good? All right, Town of Pine Plains Planning Board, resolution approving lot line adjustment for the property owned by Keith Cisco and Janine Cisco located at 10-11 Hoffman Road, Pine Plains, New York, to create 3 parcels. Whereas Keith Cisco and Janine Cisco are owners of the parcel of land located at 10-11 Hoffman Road, having tax map number 1342000-6872-003- 350673, and whereas the property is divided by Hoffman Road, parentheses, County Route 83A, and whereas a portion of the property on the east side of Hoffman Road is within the town's Hamlet Main Street District, and whereas the remainder of the property located on the west side of Hoffman Road is located in the town's residential 5-acre district, whereas Section 100-33 titled subdivision of pre-existing lots in the town code provides in relevant part that a property divided by a state or county road constitutes a natural or pre-existing subdivision when the properties on each side of the road contain the minimum acreage required in that subdivision by the town's zoning code. And whereas a portion of the property in the west side of Hoffman Road would be lot number 1 and contains only 1.79, so that's a small acres, and whereas the applicants have made application to the zoning board of appeals for a variance of that requirement so that the natural subdivision provisions can be applied to this lot line adjustment, and whereas the zoning board of appeals has granted that variance to the applicant, and whereas the planning board opened the public hearing on the application on August 14th, 2024, and closed the public hearing on that same date. And whereas the planning board determined that this is a type 2 action under seeker and does not require environmental review. Now therefore be it resolved, the planning board hereby grants lot line adjustment approval for the Cisco application, subject to the following conditions: that the applicant obtain a final approval from Dutchess County for the driveway access for the newly created lots, and provide proof of such approval to the planning board chairman prior to the signing of the lot lines adjustment plat. Number 2, that all application, escrow, and other fees imposed on this application by the planning board and town code be paid prior to the signing of the site plan with the planning board chairman. I will now take a roll call vote. Kate?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Steve?
Yes. Yes.
And I also vote aye. Let it be shown that the resolution passed 5-0. Yeah. Just get us that. So when you have it,
What's that?
get us the,
And I'll leave one of these copies, but I just wanna make sure that all the verbiage is right for Bill.
Bill has to approve the work.
Bill's gotta approve it. If he says it says it and it's supposed to say there, and then I just gotta change it, but
We would like to eventually have two copies.
two final. copies.
Yes, please.
Sure. Thanks, Tom. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you, Wesley. Take care. Okay. What's that? Oh. Next up is the Hudson Performance Center. So we did the public hearing on this already, is that right? Opened and closed it.
Right.
Alright, so we received this note from the county. They have not finished their 239M review. Today, they sent an email like
They have, they don't,
they just sent an email saying we have the supervisor has to sign off. Clayton supervisor has to sign off on his comments. As it stands now, what it says is for local decision, but make sure we get a lighting plan and landscaping plan. I mean, was there not a lighting plan in the?
Proposing any outdoor air plants.
Hey, good evening, all.
Yeah.
Anthony Fresenda here, architect, representing the Hudson Performance Center project. Thanks to the board for the time and effort they put into reviewing the plans over the last 4 months. We were hoping to have a decision made today, but understand that a last-minute letter did not come through in time. Per the comments made on that letter, or at least from the brief email that I saw about that letter, there were recommendations for lighting plans, which we have already submitted, and then a landscaping plan, which it sounds like is up to the discretion of the board to request, but you guys are probably familiar with the site now. It's a auto repair site. It's all asphalt, concrete. So we'd like the reason behind the request for a landscaping plan, because we've engaged and we're happy to do so. 3 or 4 different consultants, on the DOT side, the septic side, all to that due diligence to provide. So any further request like a landscaping plan, we'd like to have a conversation about that before we submit to that request.
We all don't care about the landscaping plan, knowing the site.
I think we talked about, like, you can't do it between the properties. We talked about that already.
Requirement of a window plant? Yeah, I mean, it's like a solid piece of asphalt. As far as what is the status of the driveway permit with the state?
Yeah, we engaged with the DOT and also with a traffic consultant. They said that there was no impact whatsoever on the traffic flow in and out of the site. However, their recommendation is they noticed that the entryways into the property were wider than their standards. So we are happy to comply to reduce the widths of those entries to I believe it's about 24 feet. We're in the process of submitting that application for that work. We're hoping that can, be resolved along with the other construction that is being done to the property. And that issue can be moved to the building department once we submit application for permit there.
Okay. So they want you to do some work before they'll issue.
Yeah,
the permit.
essentially they just want us to put in some concrete curbs to lessen the width of the entries into the site, which we will do.
Or whatever they want, I guess,
Oh, yeah, right at the mercy.
Why would they want that, Jordan?
They don't wanna have unrestricted access to the highway. So like 24 feet, 30 is about as wide as I've ever seen them let the people go. So if it's wider than that, not curved, they'll make you put curving in
Yeah, so it's.
or some other
There is
area.
no curve,
to
right?
next-
Well, I think there is like
There's like
right
a,
up
yeah,
front.
there's a section that,
Which I found by accident.
yeah, I was gonna say, you're just gonna hit.
That's a restricted flow of
Where you
traffic.
come in and out of the site. They don't want you to be able to just access
Driving.
the highway where. It's
Uh,
an effect.
Okay. So Warren, where are we at with this? If with those two, being that we haven't had the full comment, the official comment from the county. We need to,
I think you can close the public hearing and then adjourn it to.
we close the public hearing.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
So then we'll have to adjourn it for a decision. Again, I drafted
Right.
a decision, but
We
we
have to
should
wait.
wait to see what we get from the county and whether they can resolve the issue about a lighting plan. So
The lighting plan. Is
Yeah,
it
I'm not
not,
sure. Yeah,
wasn't it?
I mean, they only said they were gonna send comments to suggest if we were.
right. It's
Yeah,
local
it might-
decision based on their email. But again, that's not official, but
Landscape.
I'm not sure what the extent of the lighting plan is that they, I didn't think they were.
So,
proposing.
yeah, and the plans you gave us, Anthony, it has the lights that are gonna be on the building, correct?
Yep, there's maybe 4 or 5 downlights, dark sky compliant. Yeah, they're included on the plans that were submitted.
And no pole lights anywhere.
Correct.
And you said that you included the cut sheets for those lighting fixtures.
Yes.
So I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And we don't care about the landscaping plan.
So I don't
So
think there's really much.
there's nothing to
do.
landscape.
There's nothing to landscape.
Although once you put those curb cuts in, you might want to put something there just so people see the curb cuts.
Well, they'll see the curb.
Okay, so, all right, so we're kind of at the mercy of the county with that, so we have a resolution ready to go. The board's likely going to approve it, right, everyone? So we just gotta get that before we can vote.
Is there a way to get that determination before next month's meeting?
Well, their deadline is the 30th of this month.
he
Right.
wants to know.
Like, can we vote after the 30th, or if we get the
Right.
election next?
Fire.
Are you asking me to hold a special meeting? do you say?
Yeah, I mean, just so we don't have to wait another month for that deadline that didn't come through in time for this meeting.
So the 30th is the deadline. They might get it here sooner.
What is this? Until county.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Special deal.
And what's the special meeting? How many days notice do we have to give the public?
Yeah.
Sure. Those hearings, no, listen. Can have to be.
Jeff, if we have a meeting, you have to look, we have to.
Still notified.
How many days do we have to notify the public that we're having a special meeting?
Well, you're just continuing you're calling a special meeting tonight. So you have to, put it in the, notified paper. And post it on the, town signboard and on our website. I would give it, I think it's 5 days. Required.
But the problem is, see, the issue is we don't even.
You don't
We
know.
won't know
until you
until the
have-
30th when we're gonna get this thing from the county. I mean, likely, it sounded like it's coming fast, but like.
Who knows?
Could be tomorrow, could be
Usually,
the 30th.
you call up the county, they'll speed it up for you.
What's that? Did you email him or did he just send that spontaneously? Like, Layton's very good, but
Why don't you set a special meeting and then if you have it by then you conduct it. If you don't, then you'll have to do it at the next meeting.
Correct, because with that deadline in mind, that it's only, you'd get a week. So you'd benefit a week. It would be the 5th. I can't say. That was the 4th? What is this? Right, no, which month? Oh, September's up here. So it'd be the 4th.
Feel it.
Our meetings are 11. No.
So you'd have to post it tomorrow for the 4th, that's what you're saying?
No, it's not, no.
So what was the,
You can announce it today, you can't walk back.
so if you announce it today, it would be on the 4th, is that what you're saying?
If I pick a day after the 30th, that's the one, right?
Oh,
If I do it before the 30th, saying, hey, I think Clayton's gonna come up with it, and then I cancel it if we don't get it, then we just have it on the 11th. Wow, I mean, it's so busy
Well, yeah, I
week.
mean, whatever you guys could do to bump it up, it would be great. I understand if it, makes just as much sense to have it with the next scheduled meeting. I'd just like to know, if and when it is approved, are there any further steps that we need to take with this board before we could submit it to the building department for construction?
Or you just need that DOT permit.
That'll be
That's the only condition, right?
conditioning.
But does this board need to have that in hand, or can that go to the building department?
No, that we have to have the approval from the DOT in hand before I sign the map.
No, they really said that here about the 4th. And how fast you can push the DOT. If they generally move slower. Yeah. They come.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna keep, I'm sorry, but we're just gonna. I mean, I could set it for the 28th and then.
I was gonna
but
say
then
the
it's-
28th, and then if it doesn't happen,
Yeah. All right,
left.
but you understand the constraint, right? So if you still don't have the DOT letter, you can have our resolution and you still can't move forward till you get the DOC letter.
Yeah, I'll make that, it's a condition, that could be.
So
So-
what do you need the DOT letter to say?
That they've approved the driveway. They approved the driveway, the driveways, the multiple access. You have 2, right, at least? Yeah, so
Approve it for the
you approve your highway access. So you're basically gonna submit plans to them for those curb cuts. And then, they're gonna say, okay, this is now an approval, whatever, there's a form or something that they give you. And then you'll show it to us. I'll show it to George and he'll say, yep, that looks good, and then I'll be free to sign the map then.
And when do you need that by in order to make the decision for next meeting?
No, we don't need, that would be a condition of our approval. So we can approve this once we hear from the county. And then you, as part of the resolution, as the condition, it's a conditional approval, conditioned on you getting the approval of the New York State DOT for your driveway access. So we can approve it, you just can't do anything until you get that approval from them.
Okay, say the approval from the DOT comes in after your approval for the general plans. Does that need to wait for the next month to be approved during?
No, that you get to Tricia and I just clear it, make sure it's all in line. George tells me, yep, that looks right. And then I can just sign the maps as soon as you get them here. 2
Okay.
for us, and whatever you need.
Okay.
So with that being said, we set a meeting for the 28th, and then we cancel it if we don't hear from the county. Or do you think it's not gonna make a difference because of the DOT?
This way.
Yeah, all right, I think we're just gonna keep it on the 11th, because I don't think you're gonna get the DOT done before then.
Well, I'm sorry.
Uh,
I thought you said it didn't matter. You didn't need the DOT to make that determination.
Right, but
But you're still gonna have to wait.
Up early, you're gonna have to wait. We could have the hearing tomorrow. If we don't have the letter from DOT, you can't go to the building department. You have to wait till you get, we can approve it, and then when you get the letter from the building. From the DOT, you can go to the building.
Okay.
It's just because there's only four of, I mean. We'd have to have a special meeting.
yeah, we'd have to have a special meeting, Warren.
I'm here for like 5 minutes.
I guess you can. So let's leave it on the 11th, and it's likely you won't be, it won't hold you up in the end. Okay?
Okay.
Have you submitted those reworked plans to the DOT yet?
We're in the process of doing that.
Oh, okay, so
Yes,
yeah, so
okay.
they're not gonna get.
They're not.
Okay. All right.
Another direction.
Wait. Well, I mean, you can be assured the board is ready to approve this. From the straw poll of nodding that I'm seeing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so next up is the continuation of the Chiquetti Slaughterhouse public hearing. Do you guys have anything new to submit or
Two changes, one is the fence town dumpster. The white's on the elevation of the south end, that's it. So that's the only change in the plans, the SWIP was updated. I got all the cows. That's it, see what Warren's conversation was with USDA, but
when did the SWIFT did you get to review that yet?
we just had to.
Oh, okay, so,
Yeah, it just came.
I forgot, I'm not remembering if there's other ones, but I know I forgot to mention at the last meeting, we received, several letters on this application, including one from John Farrell and one from, Kathleen Augustine, in support of the project. They've been entered into the public file. Is there any others?
What was that follow-up one?
Right, Peg Bonneville and the other neighbor with some concerns. Warren, do you want to talk about anything as far as the USDA or?
Well, I guess we should update the board on conversation with the USDA.
Yeah, Warren and I got on a conference call. Warren was gracious enough from his vacation to talk to dial in and talk to USDA guy. And as far as he cleared up some things for me on some things, and also he talked to Warren about exactly what the requirements / criteria are for their and where that guidebook stands. Warren, would you want to characterize it, Warren, for us?
Yeah, I mean, basically, the guidelines are quite specific as to what's required for this facility. Doesn't, my understanding, or conversation with representative from USDA, that once we grant approval for the site plan special use permit, they will be making whatever application is required with USDA, and the USDA will come out and inspect the facility and apply those guidelines to the facility, and they will not get their license until they meet all the criteria that are applicable to this slaughterhouse facility. So that gave me, and assuming you some comfort level that we don't have to delve into the minutia of regulating re-regulating the slaughterhouse requirements that are included in USDA, under the assumption that they will be enforcing their guidelines. And will not issue a permit till all those guidelines are met. So we can focus on site plan issues, lighting, parking, access. And condition the special use permit and site plan on proof that USDA has granted the license. I would like to see when we do the resolution, an annual update from the applicant indicating that the license is in good standing and if it's required to be reapplied for, renewed, that has all been done. So we can keep tabs on the operation at least for a few years.
Yeah, because the ordinance says sometimes the facilities will go out of compliance and then come back in and then when they're out of compliance, they don't inspect them and they're not allowed to sell anything.
Yeah, I mean, I assume they take enforcement action against the facility. So we would put that into the resolution that you want to be notified of the status of their license on a yearly basis.
And if any change happens.
Right.
Um. You also clarified for me, I had questions about the whole custom thing and like how that works exactly and how. That it basically can't be sold at all. Anywhere, even in your own farm stand kind of thing. Yeah, we can back to the individual, right? So that was a familiar with that. I didn't know how that was. So have you guys talked at all to the Department of Health? Have you heard any feedback regarding your plans for the septic yet?
We haven't submitted it, the site plan approval. Okay.
Need a neg deck.
What's that?
Need a negative declaration for Dutchess County Health.
So basically, we have to concentrate on everything from the walls of the building out. Inside, the USDA will come and, have whatever the criteria are for them. What was it? Clean, sanitary, whatever, fit for purpose. But that's statement. He basically kept saying that. So with that, are there any outstanding issues or questions the board itself has questions about?
Do we feel that we have a complete site plan at this point?
Well, it's up to George looking at the SWIP, right? Like,
I mean, I haven't looked at the SWIP yet, but I mean, as far as deeming it complete for like secret purposes, I would say, yeah, I mean, we've got all the pieces are there, the lighting's there, the landscaping's there, SWIP is there, right?
You submitted this one?
It came in this afternoon.
Oh,
Again, I haven't had an opportunity to look at it, but I'm just saying for secret purposes, I think we could deem it complete, right? And when all the pieces are there, all the permits have been identified, the involvement, the rest of each and all that kind of stuff. Technical review still outstanding, but supervising thing.
yeah, if I don't have a resolution prepared for today.
no, we'd have to, did this thing go to the county yet, right? Oh, we did.
I think we got a response.
When did this come in? It's local concern. Did you guys all read this? I don't remember seeing this. I very well could have missed it. Maybe we did. June 24th, yeah.
I remember this part about the foot can, and it seemed like way low compared to what we were hearing. All right,
20.
sorry. No.
So,
So it says here, the proposed project would provide a much needed service not only to farmers in the town of Pine Plains, but to farmers throughout Dutchess County and the region by providing a more local option for processing livestock. We believe that the proposed project would be a vital asset in supporting our local agricultural economy.
I do remember that.
Lighting, the key to attaining appropriate lighting in this rural setting would be to employ low lighting levels, foot candles that are evenly distributed. The photometric lighting plan shows some concerning hotspots, with some areas measuring foot candles in double digits, some areas showing 20 to 30 foot. Best practices suggest the outdoor lighting levels in all areas except those deemed high security, such as around an outdoor ATM, should be evenly distributed in the range of 0.1 to 1 foot candle. Even in high security areas, lighting should not exceed 5-foot candles. Anything more than that is generally considered to be a contributing source of light pollution and glare. Either the fixture selections or other proposed locations should be modified in order to ensure that the outdoor lighting does not become a contributing source of glare or light pollution. The board should also investigate the use of motion sensors and dimmers to reduce the lighting. The department recommends that the board rely upon its own study for the recommendation, upon its own study of facts in the case with due consideration of the above comments. George, that seems like very low. How do we get to zero?
Did talk about this and said it is brighter than I would have it. But to the extent that it's all kind of behind the building. And I don't know that anyone's actually gonna see it. It is dark sky compliant, shielded, downlit. So it's gonna be a very light parking lot. If you're in it.
Right, just to add, we based on 5 years, because that's OSHA standard. So right now that.
And it's gonna be off when it's gonna go off at night, when it's closed, when it's
It's gonna be on a lot. It shouldn't be seen.
And what was the 2 changes you said you made to small changes? A fence?
The fence around the dumpster, and then the lights on the south end that showed on the elevation, they were
Oh, they were just like,
actually the north end. They
it
show.
was showing up. In the tree, nothing's changed with that since the last time. The tree screening plan on the west and can we go to that page real quick? Please? Was that it? Oh. This should have, oh, really? Then something. Something. Yeah. All right, so. Warren, what's the next step then?
Well, I guess we, if you're comfortable closing the public hearing, we can do that and, or shoot towards a resolution for the next meeting. And we have to finish our seeker review. And there were a number of things that were identified at the last meeting, that had to be corrected on the, part 1 of the, EAF. Have those been done?
It should be now. Essentially.
we thought the link was just this and the switch.
They're in the minutes.
Yeah, no, we're looking to see if we got some.
We're outside.
2 comments, if you remember. But it was just like. Solid waste that we're using as fertilizers. It identifies it's an outlet. But we don't change. Oh, yeah, I get it.
How many changes? He's saying there was 2. Is there other things? There were some things that were just straight up
Well,
missing,
they're right in the
right?
minutes,
Ethan went through
Page
a bunch of
5.
stuff at the meeting.
Page 5. Question 7. Question,
Subsection J,
oh, sorry, question 7, page, I don't know, page or something. Yeah, subsection J. Page 8, last section, page 11, section
disposal of
G.
solid waste had to be corrected.
Do we have, so we don't have
Page
enough?
11, subsection G wasn't answered. On page 12, C and D were not answered, as well as section 8 on page 13.
Question, Matt, so just, we need to just button that up. If you think it's here, or you think those.
Like,
Oh, so,
what? Yeah, comments, I mean, we can solve really if you want.
well, we just can't do our seeker review, but I mean, we're not, we can do that with, before the resolution.
Yeah,
We can, so we can close the public hearing now, the next month look to do the finish the seeker review.
review and then make sure that the site plan is complete.
And then we can vote on the resolution.
And you can take a look at the SWIP.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll have that done. All right.
Pretty close meeting.
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Public hearing is now closed.
Says to me. Shouldn't be anybody with motion.
And okay, so those are the. And oh, where's your driveway permit at? Like with the state, your driveway?
If you're gonna run that in parallel with Board of Health, it's.
We're gonna need a neck deck.
Also for the
DOT permit specifically asks
next.
what the state status is, who's lead agency. What was the date of the neg deck issuance? And then they ask you for a copy. The point of that, the reason why some of the state agencies and Columbia County Health Department do that is to make sure that with their limited resources, that they're not, that's what they say, that they don't have people looking at projects that actually aren't real.
Right.
That maybe aren't gonna make it through the planning board or local zoning process, and someone's gonna walk away, and now they just wasted X number of hours reviewing and going out and site visits, et cetera, so they try to wait. Sometimes you can get letters out of them to say conceptually they're okay. But sometimes.
Well, just double check the EAF, make sure you refer to the minutes, the ones that are there, look at it, make sure everything's filled out. It should be, it should be good to go next month then. Okay, all right, thank you. Next, what are we doing? Oh, Sissing Farms update. Hello.
My name is John First. I'm the attorney for Stissing Farms. I have been around for the police as well. If you update first,
Why don't you give your update and
and we can cross reference our.
if we have to say.
So as you recall, this project, it does have, it's a residential project. It does have all 48 COs. It is being occupied. We were last year in October of 2023, on the 25th of October, you guys passed a resolution. The resolution extended a prior approval that was issued in June of 2021. It authorized the issuance of the last remaining COs, which obviously have been issued, and again, it's mostly occupied. And it also required the applicant to come back to provide an update on the process with the AG, Attorney General's office, regarding the condo association formation. So that's essentially why we're here. We're here to give you guys the update and what's happened since October of 2023. So on February 12th, the applicant's architects, LMV, submitted a report in response to some comments to the AG's office. In addition, soon thereafter, the AG's office actually issued another round of comments. And then this past July 26th, we had a major submission, which I have right here, and I'd be happy to give it to Warren for your reading pleasure. So that includes the February 12th of submission for the architectural report. Then on the 26th, we had submitted, there's 3 components. We had to amend the offering plan because there were a couple of new sponsors. So we had to go through all the legal documentation. We had to go through the offering plan itself, the bylaws, the declarations, to add these new 2 sponsors. Those have actually already been reviewed by the attorney at the AG's office, and she just emailed us in early August and essentially said she has no further comments. So I think we're good on that end, hopefully, fingers crossed. The other component that we submitted on July 26th had to do again with revised architecturals. Again, like any process with a administrative board or body, it's, you submit, you get comments, you submit, you get comments. AG's office, it is working out to be a little more difficult. So we made a submission to the architect at the AG's office on July 26th. We're still waiting for her comments. And the last component on July 26th, we had submitted a bunch of exhibits and supporting information to the paralegal. Because with the new sponsors, there's new forms, there's new searches that had to be done on these new entities. So just a lot of legal documents had to be submitted. So that was all submitted on July 26th. There's the bundle of paperwork that I just handed to Warren. We are narrowing down the issues. The client, he wants to get this done as much as you guys want to get this done, believe me. And so there's our update. Lou, if you want to add anything else, did I missed anything or?
No, he hasn't missed anything as far as the process. It's painful. I don't know what to say. They ask us to resubmit it on a different format. Slightly different, where this paragraph has to go in front of that paragraph. Substantively, nothing's changed. It's just a formatting that they want us to adhere to. We reformat, we send it back to them, then they give us a whole different set of comments. I mean, it's an incredibly frustrating process. We're trying to push them along, but I have no power over the AG's office. I can't convince them to go any faster than they are. But I would say, and I said this the last time we were here, my goal has never changed. It's always to sell condominiums. We have gone through a vetting process with every single applicant that has moved into the property. They all are aware that this is a condo project that is in the process of becoming legitimate for public purchase. And I would say more than half of our applicants have expressed a desire to buy their apartments at the time that we are finally able to legally sell these apartments. Everybody that we have underwritten as far as an applicant would meet the requirements of any lender to buy their unit. So meaning that their incomes are far and away greater than the expectation of any lender would be to purchase their unit, and their assets, meaning their bank balances, are sufficient to have a down payment. I'm surprised at the quality of the tenants that we're moving into the property. I think they'd be great additions to the community at the point that the AG finally releases the documents to us. So that's the totality. I drove by the property tonight. Looks great. It's quiet. Ran to a few of my tenants over there. They're nice people. The cars are well maintained. The houses are well maintained. It's a nice project. I wish I could sell it. I can't. I'm stuck until this AG process is resolved. So that's where I'm at.
So if you're anticipating that you need until November 30th, 2024 to address any deficiencies in your last submission, when do you think you're going to have final submission and approval from the AG's office?
It's going to depend, like I said, from the 3 components. Looks like we're good on one of them. We're still waiting from the architect. We're still waiting from the paralegal. It's very difficult to know what it gets. We can certainly, if we want to come back in 6 months, we can give you another update. That's what the board pleases. They still want to. I hope to God I don't see you guys in 6 months. No offense, but if that's what makes you comfortable, we can come back in 6 months and we'll give you another update, just, if you're gonna keep. We're trying, believe me.
So how are you gonna deal with the fact, how many of the units are rented here?
Uh, 40, 43, 43 are rented, 42 are occupied. I believe that that's accurate.
So once you get AG approval, how are you gonna deal with transition from a rental project to a condominium? How long will it take for those?
Instantaneously. As soon as I get the document in my hand that says I can, in fact, legally sell. The first comment is to all of our existing tenants and say, good news. We are now legally allowed to sell you your apartment. Would you like to buy it? And like I had mentioned in a previous conversation I had with this board, we have made offers to our residents in the past to give them credits at closing, which would be a significant reduction in the amount necessary. With financing, I can give them a credit for repairs, or I can give them a credit for a certain closing cost. There's a legal limit, it's about 3%, but that would be a significant reduction in the cost that they would have to incur. So we're enticing them to buy their apartments. In addition to that, we're giving them a discount off the purchase price, because selling directly to them, we would not have to employ a realtor. So we would be able to pass that savings on to the purchaser. And everybody's aware of it. So all of our residents are aware.
Is that included in your offering plan?
I don't know.
I have to look at the details on that working.
Yeah, we'd like to know that.
I'm in that paperwork, see what point it out.
I'm not sure what we can and can't do.
I think you're required to.
Whatever it is, we're gonna make, it might be an offer, might be a negotiating point. To be candid, I don't know, but we're going to make every attempt to have our existing occupants purchase their apartment and make it enticing for them to do so.
The problem that we're having, town board perspective, is that we've been getting complaints from the tenants. The properties have not been well maintained, in spite of your representations. I don't know if Ed, have you had any complaints?
I serendipitously ran into someone who turns out lives there. And I did hear the same sort of thing. They have some issues that are outstanding, and supposedly someone's coming. It's been weeks, no one comes to there.
I haven't, the only thing I've heard is a complaint that was lodged online, I think through a Google review. Someone was complaining that one of our apartments had not been turned and made ready.
No, this was more stuff broken and not.
I'm not aware of any complaints. My management company, 360 Property Management, based out of Poughkeepsie, is the one that handles the day-to-day. If they don't tell me of a complaint, I have no way of knowing about
I
it.
want to check with them to see how their turnaround time, what is their resolution time, are they averaging on their issues, what's outstanding?
I will tell you that the contractor, Mid-Hudson Construction Management, who built the properties, they provided us a warrant. So any complaints that anyone would have would be a warranty complaint. And I know that Mid-Hudson's been at the property, but it's punch list stuff. It's been perception becomes reality. They're punch list small items. Maybe a doorknob is loose, a dishwasher maybe not be functioning. We replace the dishwasher. But for somebody who lives there, they're monumental because it's impacting their life. But rest assured, we are not neglecting this property.
They did state that they are looking to buy it. So, but they're just upset that it's becoming they are interested in buying it, but they're having some issues. Like, so I just FYI, you might want to, and so that's going around. So stories like that, I just haven't run into this person, and so I guess the town board has expressed to Warren that they're hearing complaints also.
Yeah, I mean, it may be that one complaint that was expressed at the last town board meeting, but if Ed hasn't gotten any complaints. So this has gone on for a long time. The sooner that this becomes a condominium operated facility, the better it is for the occupants. So premises and also for the town. Because it will be like run, therefore it's the rules and regulations of the condominium. So we really want to keep on top of this, so I'm gonna suggest that you come back to us in October at our October meeting and give us an update on where you are with the resubmission.
Sure. Cool. Always happy to discuss. The last thing I want is for anyone to feel out in the cold on this, not aware of what's happening. This has been an incredibly frustrating process for me. I have never encountered a process for a condo conversion taking greater than a year. Here I am, well over 3 years later.
So this wasn't supposed to be a condo conversion.
Well, it was a condo, the previous owner failed to maintain it. It expired. We had to do another condo approval with some changes. And you know the backstory.
Yeah.
So it's that. So
What are sponsors? Are those new owners? Where's fun?
So post-construction, when we bought property, we had no construction, we had no debt. We did it all with cash. And then when we hit lengthy delays, we found we had to go out and borrow money to finish the construction. And we have the same lender, but at the time we had two lenders. One was Salisbury Bank, and the other one was a private lender. And with the closings, we had to separate the individual ownership. So there was 20 units that were owned by Pine Plains Homes LLC. And then there were 28 parcels of unbuilt property that were owned by Pine Plains Land. Now, since everything is built, Pine Plains Homes still owns 20 condominiums, and Pine Plains Lands now owns 28 finished homes. There's two separate owners, but they roll up to the same common owners. The ownership has never changed. It's just been a slight. The properties, the land themselves had to be owned by separate entities for the lenders. And that's the different sponsors, is that introduction of two new entities in between the land and the ownership. That's what they're talking about, new sponsors. Ownership hasn't changed.
All right, so 2 months, right? We said October.
The October meeting, we'd like someone to come give us an update on where we are.
Happy to do that.
And if you get any complaints, let's let the planning board and the town board.
Yeah, I would love to know. Believe me, the last thing, from an operations perspective, we own thousands of apartments in the eastern half of the United States. We pride ourselves on giving good quality, homes for people to live in. And that's how we make our business, is by having people happy. And unfortunately, you can't please everybody, but we try to get 95% of the people to be pleased. So we don't want to have any complaints. I just drove by the property, went through before here. I looked at it, I thought it was actually nice. I found three issues. One of them was Comcast, or a cable provider, left their cover off the demarcation box and a light was broken. And then the pet waste stations need to be empty. But aside from that, I saw nothing problematic.
All right, well, we'll hopefully get some results with the state.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
And let's see if the keeps on giving, Carson Power. You do. Is the next stuff? When was someone here for them? No, Alicia.
That's
When's our-
You got Eric Anderson from Carson
Hold
Power.
on, hold on. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, hi. My name is Eric Anderson, and I'm representing Carson Power. And with me, I got Miss Alicia Legland, my legal representation attorney from Huskin Russ, that submitted the letter on Carson's behalf, requesting a extension of the special use permanent site plan approval that was received for the Pulvers Corners 1 and 2 solar projects.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you again.
Hello, Alicia. Eric, what is your position exactly?
I'm a senior project developer at Carson Power.
You work for.
Yep, so familiar face on my end. Eric is newer to Carson. I know you guys were very familiar with Andrew, but Eric is now the new face of the project. But I'm still here.
Is
So,
Andrew, no
go ahead.
longer with Carson?
No,
Nope, it's a different position.
yeah,
Just
Andrew's with Carson. I'm just kind of bringing it to the next leg of the journey here. So yeah.
Yep. So, like Eric said, I submitted a letter, just given the litigation and the crazy delays that caused. We're just seeking an extension of the special use permit and site plan approval. As you know, it was approved. Those two items were approved by you all in November, the end of November 2023. It will expire 18 months later. So that puts it at about May 2025. So we would right now need and are requesting an additional 6 months from that point.
And where are we with the items? We saw the conservation easement, that's signed, right?
I did get the conservation easement this past week. I reviewed it today and sent an email with some minor changes that I wanted to see in the conservation easement before it's filed. The other issue is the bond, which we don't need at this point. We've approved the terms of the bond. But before construction begins, we have to have the decommissioning bond. What was the last thing?
The pilot. The pilot?
The pilot.
Where are we with that?
And that I communicated with Alicia today about getting that done. It's very important to the town board that we finalize the terms of the pilot and the crucial information that's still not confirmed is the school district was going to share their share of the pilot with the town to increase what we would be getting under the pilot, and we still haven't had confirmation of that fact. So if I offer to Alicia, if there's anything I can do to try to facilitate the discussions with the school district and their attorney, I'm happy to do that. But I know the town board's going to ask me about that tomorrow night.
Yes, anything you can do, Warren, have them answer us.
But I did.
So you're not getting an answer from the school district?
Yeah, it's been tough. My colleague here at Hodgson Russ is handling the pilot. We seem to be squared away with the town and I believe the county as well, but the school district has been a little bit slow to respond and finishing this task up. So we've been trying, but
and so we're looking for this extension so what do you mean by 2 6-month extensions?
Well,
for the two different pieces?
No, our code permits a 6-month extension and then a second 6 months extension. They asked for a 12-month extension.
Oh, so you're looking for consecutive 6 months?
Yeah, so I would prefer to do it for 6 months and then have them reapply for an additional 6 months. There's not only is it in the statute, but there's decisional law in the state of New York that when an applicant is held up in meeting the requirements of the site plan special use permit conditions by a lawsuit, that is valid grounds for obtaining an extension from the planning board, notwithstanding what the terms of normal extensions are in the code. So they would be entitled to argue that but we have 2 6-month extensions built into the code. So let's utilize those first.
Well, we're only giving one then.
We do one and then they have to reapply for the expiration for the second one. I'm not sure if we got the date right, because you sent me, the date should, 6 months should run from the date it was filed in the town clerk's office.
No, the 30th, right? So this is the
So
20th.
change those dates to
Yeah, oh,
Because-
okay, yeah, it was filed on November 30th, right, so that's fine. So then it would expire too. I also want to make sure that the second date is right. So it would expire 18 months after that, so that would be May 30th of 2025. So then that's when the
Right,
6-month clock would start.
All right. Which brings you to November 30th, right?
2025, so that's right.
So,
Yeah.
Okay,
just make sure you make application for the further extension in sufficient time that we can get it on the agenda before it expires.
Yeah, by the 3-month mark, if there's something going on that we think we're gonna need more time still, we'll make sure to reach back out.
and then the bat window combined with all this insurance. And then once everything, the pilot that is all in place. And the changes to the minor changes to have you just sent that to them? The changes to the
Today.
conservation, like, have you been able to look at those, Alicia?
I have not yet. I got them this afternoon, so we will take a look at them.
Okay.
They seemed minor, so I don't know that it'll be an issue, but I'll take a look.
Alright, but yeah. Then you think that they should have a small construction, pre-construction?
Yeah.
I know you already did the pre-construction meeting, but just like to meet again, just to make sure everyone's on the
Yeah.
same page with George and Ed.
Yeah, definitely, before, once you're at that stage.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. And there's no other changes in the office.
No, everything looks pretty good.
Okay, I guess, that I will read, does anyone have any questions? No. Let me read this resolution. Town of Pine Plains Planning Board Resolution approving the application of Pulver's Corner Solar One LLC and Pulver's Corner Solar Two LLC for extension of the special use permit and site plan approvals. Whereas Pulver's Corner Solar One LLC and Pulver's Corners Two LLC hereinafter referred to as Pulver's Corner. Applied for and received a special use permit and site plan approval for its proposed solar project on November 28th, 2023, and where subsequent to the issuance of a said.
Is that
Stan,
yours or Stan?
no, that.
Oh, that's one. Oh, that's your,
Subsequent to the issue of said approval, a lawsuit titled Preserve Pine Plains et al. Versus Town of Pine Plains Planning Board et al. Index number 500087/2024 was filed challenging the issuance of a special permit and site plan approval and the secret determination of the planning board in conjunction with those applications. And whereas the Article 78 petition, after having been transferred to Putnam County due to conflict of interest of several judges in Dutchess County, although mentioned his fault, but it was resolved in favor of Pulver's Corner and the planning board by decision issued in June of 2024. And whereas the petitioners have filed a notice of appeal to the appellate division second department, but have not to date perfected that appeal. And whereas the Pulver's Corner by letter dated August 5th, 2024 has made application to the Town of Pine Plains Planning Board for 2 6-month extensions of the special permit and special use permit and site plan approval pursuant to the provisions contained in section 275-55 subs M and section 275-62, so section N of the zoning code, and whereas the planning board notes when the provisions of the town code allow for 2 extensions not to exceed 6 months, and whereas the planning board notes that the Pulver's Corner has satisfied most of the conditions of the site plan, especially use permit approval, but has not to date completed the process. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the planning board hereby grants the application of Pulver's Corner to the extent of extending the approvals for site plan and special use permit for a period of 6 months from the date of expiration of the original approval. Original approval being November 30th, 2024. And the original expiration being May 30th, 2025, with a leave to file for a second application for extension if required before the expiration of the first 6-month extension. With that, I'll take a roll call vote. Kate?
Aye.
Al? Aye. Steve?
Yes.
Right. Oh, yes. Scott? I also vote aye. Let it be shown that it passed, resolution passed 5-0. All right, good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks.
Matt. Did everyone get to look at the minutes?
Yes.
Any changes? Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as?
I was there, but
Oh, that.
I wasn't
there.
Well, Steve wasn't here.
I wasn't here either, but I read.
Can you vote with only 3?
Warren, can they?
I
vote if-
listened to the meeting. I was on the thing.
Can they vote on the minutes if they weren't here?
It's a good question. Yeah, why not?
They watched it.
I did watch it.
Do you watch it?
I didn't watch live.
Change.
So
I might have stopped reading at that
I
point.
did compliment Trish on the fact that Ethan has not won.
I'm
So
taking off.
All right,
Good night,
Warren.
everybody.
Night.
Good night, Warren. Can I have a motion to accept these minutes? Take care, George. A motion. All in favor? Plum second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the minutes are approved.
What happened to the Hudson Hardwoods guy?
They're coming next.
Yeah, they pulled it back. Well, once